Hello and welcome to Easy Projects. So I was just preparing my review of the Rigol MSO 1104 set here when I noticed something very strange, and it's to do with the inputs. I am measuring a 20 MHz crystal on this microcontroller here, and this is just a clock signal you see here. And I think that you'll agree that it looks just fine, right? But see what happens if we just pan around a little here and move it horizontally to say 5 microseconds. So now it's triggering somewhere far over on this side here, and what we see on the screen here is happening 5 microseconds after it triggered. And let's zoom in. And what the hell is this? Well, you might say it's just the crystal that's bad and it's clock jitter, right? But watch what happens as we move along here to say 10 microseconds. And it's come good again. So it can't be the crystal that is drifting in frequency. And as we go further, you can see it gets worse. And it comes good again. And this repeats every 5 microseconds. So what we see here is frequency modulation, but where's that coming from? So of course the next thing we would do is to try another signal source, and I also did that, and it's exactly the same. So that got me wondering what happens if we plug it into the oscilloscope. And here you can see we are at the trigger point and it looks just fine. So we can go to 5 microseconds again and zoom in. And now it's exactly the same settings as on the oscilloscope, but there's no frequency modulation. And we can just try and scroll through this waveform as well. And as you can see, there's clearly nothing here. And to show that it really is frequency modulation, let's try and make a waveform that can represent that on the new scope here. So I make a 10 MHz sine wave with a frequency modulation at 50 kHz and a deviation of 8 kHz at the moment, but we can just give it a little more. So just over 9 kHz. And let's take a look at the old scope so we can see what's happening. You can see it looks just fine so far, but as we scroll along here, you can see it starts to get modulated. And I figured out that the frequency of the modulation that we see on the new scope is 100 kHz. But this itself cannot modulate with that frequency, only 50 kHz. So what we see over here is that it tops out at 10 microseconds. And as we get to 20 microseconds, it's just fine again, of course. So to be honest, I have really no idea what is going on here. I went through all the menus and checked if there's some stupid settings somewhere, but I didn't really find any. And why should there be any, really? But it's the same for all channels, so if we take channel 2 instead, you can see it's just fine at the trigger point. But again, at around 5 microseconds we have this modulation. So if any of you have any idea where this could come from, I would be very interested in knowing that. You know, it might be something I'm doing wrong. I don't really know, but I don't think so. I haven't really seen that with any other scope before, so. But anyway, the review of this might be a little delayed because I want to get to the bottom of this first, so I don't say something stupid in the review if it's in fact just me that's doing something wrong. But again, if you have any idea, please let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email or write on my forum, or whatever you like. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.